Good afternoon, Veritas scientists. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2020, and we are learning more about structural versus behavioral adaptations. So we're going to go back to yesterday's lesson. I left you with this question. It said, identify one structural adaptation and one behavioral adaptation of a wolf. Include the definition of each type of adaptation as well. So we'll start with structural adaptation. It says, one structural adaptation of a wolf is its thick fur to keep it warm in the wintertime. A structural adaptation is a change over time to an animal's body parts that help it to survive in its habitat. So the structural adaptation, the body parts that have changed to allow wolves to survive, is they have grown thick fur. And if they didn't have really thick fur, they wouldn't be able to survive through the cold winters where they live. Okay? One behavioral adaptation of a wolf is they live with a pack. That is a behavior that they were born knowing how to do, but they never had to be taught to do that. They were born, they already knew how to live with a pack so that they could survive. So living with a pack is a behavioral adaptation because over time, wolves learned that living together would help them to survive and to hunt. So now what they've learned over time is now an adaptation. It has become part of what they already are born knowing how to do. Okay, it says a behavioral adaptation is a change in an animal's behavior that helps them survive in their habitat. Okay, so basically structural adaptations are body parts that change, and behavioral adaptations are ways that they act or ways that they behave that have changed to allow them to be able to survive in their environment. Okay, so some vocabulary for today that we're going to be using. The first one is inherit. It is a verb. You inherit something. There's action to that, right? You inherit it. So to inherit is when a physical trait or body part or a behavior is passed down from parents to their children or their offspring when they are born. Okay, so you inherit things from your parents, and so do all plants and animals. So some examples are eye color. You get that from your parents. Hair color. You get that from your parents. You inherit it from them. Your height, your weight or your size, any allergies that your parents have, you might inherit those. You might get those from your parent just by being born. And another one here are reflexes. So most of these that we talked about are structural adaptations that you have inherited, structural pieces, parts of your body, right? Your eyes, your hair, the size of your body, right? The things that your body is allergic to, those all have to do really with your body. You inherit those from your parents. But this is an example, reflexes. This is an example of a behavior that people have inherited from their parents. So for example, when my daughter was born, I put my finger into her hand, and no matter what you put into a baby's hand, they're gonna grab it. That is a reflex that they have that nobody taught them. It was literally the moment my daughter was born and I reached out and put my finger in her hand, she gripped my hand like this, right? She's born with that reflex that when something comes to your hand, you grab it, okay? Nobody ever taught her that. She was born, she inherited that from her parents, okay? Another thing is when you put a bottle in a baby's mouth, they know they have inherited this behavior of putting that into their mouth. So anything you put near an infant's mouth, they're going to put that in their mouth, right? Just like a bottle or a binky or anything like that. They have inherited that behavior from their parents. Nobody ever taught them that. That's something they were born already knowing how to do. All right? So number 2, the second vocabulary word is an instinct, and that is used as a noun. So an instinct is a thing. It's a behavioral adaptation that does not need to be learned. You're born already knowing how to do it. So behavioral adaptations are often called instincts. They're behaviors that you don't need to learn. You already can do them as soon as you are born. So just like that, those reflexes we talked about are instincts. You don't have to be taught that. Okay, so here are some examples. Wolves live in packs. Their parents don't have to teach them to do that. They are born, they know to stay with the pack. Okay? Dogs can swim. That's an instinct that they are born with. If you took a puppy and you threw it into a pond, it would know how to swim. Where humans, if you put a human baby, don't ever try it because they can't swim, right? We all had to learn how to swim. Instincts you don't have to learn, you're already born knowing how to do it. And that's true about dogs. If you took a brand new dog and put it in the water, it would be able to swim. Same thing with cats. They know how to climb trees. Their parents never had to teach them to do that. If you had a 2-day-old cat and you put it outside and chased it, it would run up a tree. It already knows how to do that. It's an instinct because nobody needed to teach them to do that. They can already do it. Okay, and another one are caterpillars transform into butterflies, right? The caterpillar's mom or dad never had to teach it to do that. It's something that it's an instinct that they just know how to do. They have inherited that from their parents. All right, so those are some examples. I'm going quick with these because I've been running out of time in my video. I'm running a little bit short. So here's my question I want you to work on tonight, and we'll continue learning about these different types of adaptations. So identify one structural adaptation that was inherited by a puppy, like a puppy dog, and one behavioral adaptation or instinct. A behavioral adaptation and an instinct are the same thing. So what's one behavioral adaptation or instinct that a puppy was born knowing how to do without needing to be taught? So you have to teach a puppy to sit when you say sit, right? You have to teach a puppy to stay or to come, right? Those are all things that need to be taught. So those are not instincts. I want you to give us one example of a instinct or a behavioral adaptation that the puppy was born already knowing how to do without being taught. Okay, so your job today, identify one structural adaptation that was inherited by a puppy and one behavioral adaptation that a puppy was born knowing how to do without needing to be taught. And we will pick up with this question tomorrow, and we will continue our learning about that. Okay, hope everybody has a great day. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm excited to see what you put into your Google Classroom for this assignment. See you then. Bye.